Welcome once again to another episode of the Random Access Podcast, brought to you by rapodcast.net. This is episode 808, recorded live on September 28th, 2024. And here are your hosts. The man who had a relaxing day today, Dave Pillay.
I tried to.
And the man who's in the middle of quite a weekend, Andy Lowe. Hi.
Uh-oh. That sounds ominous.
Well, it's been a lot. Well, even actually it started on Friday afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Because Isaac's school did a color run.
Oh, fun!
Yes.
Color runs are very exciting.
Yes. So he was excited for that, so we did that. They didn't have a lot of color, though. And they just did like a small lap around the school, which I'm actually curious how big the lap was. Trying to be helpful if I actually open up Google Maps. I'll give you a quick estimate here.
Sure.
Where am I at? I'm here. Come on, satellite layer. Thank you. Measure distance. Bing, 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 bing. Where'd we come up? We came out about here, and up along here, over here, and here, and here. Total distance, 1 kilometer.
Okay, that's a big run for a 7-year-old.
Yes, yeah. So we did one lap running, and they, splashed the color on him, and then he wanted to go around for a second lap, and they were starting to run out of color, and he wore some pants that he didn't care about, and they were a little big on him, so they started to fall down. And so I had to walk with him and then also give him a piggyback ride for part of it. And they had run out of color for most of the color stops. So I'm like, okay, we're done after this. So that was Friday. And then this morning we went to go see The Wild Robot at the movie theater. Mm-hmm. So, taking the kids to the movie theater is a little bit of an adventure, but they liked it.
Is Isaac able to sit and watch an entire movie at this point?
Yes. Movie was an hour, 42 minutes long, and he was in the seat whole time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, Megan was, Megan was on the other side of Kate at the times, but I think she was able to stay with it as well.
Really good.
Yes.
Awesome. How's Wild Robot?
Oh, there's a lot of feels in that one, especially for those who have kids.
Okay.
There's a whole parent-child dynamic sort of thing.
Yes.
And what does it mean to be a family?
Found family type movie.
Yes. So
I read the first couple chapters of the book, which took all of 5 minutes. It's a very quick... Yes, it is indeed based off a book.
Really?
It's based off a kid's book.
Huh. Oh, yep, there it is. Peter Brown. Okay. Well, I'll be interested about that one.
I found it at my parents', and I was like, the fuck is this? This is a movie that's coming out shortly. We never had this book, and this book is way too new for it to be it's my nephew's book. Okay.
Yeah, the surprising thing was the movie theater is... I don't know why the movie theaters are doing this now, because you know how some of the movie theaters have the special popcorn buckets for movies?
Yeah.
They actually had that for this one, except it wasn't a popcorn bucket. It was a little cup, and it had an actual, action figure on the lid of the robot. Not really an action figure, because it doesn't actually move, but it's a small figurine.
On the top of the cup?
On the top of the cup that's actually removable, and it's got, a little stand for,
That's cute.
Yeah. So Megan saw the movie and then came home and was continuing to play with Robot, and I'm just like, I see what you're doing there. We did that in the morning, then we came home, then we had book club, and then I've got this, and then tomorrow morning I'm doing a 5K fun run, and then the kids have swimming lessons, and then it's going to be finally,
then
the
it's
end.
Dinner time.
Yep. So there's a bunch of things, nothing, too big, but still just a lot of little things in the weekend.
Yeah.
So
it's a weekend with kids.
Yes.
You have kids.
Starting to see that now.
Welcome to the rest of your life.
Well, then, of course, it's going to be October next week, too.
Yep.
Now, here's the
October in 3 days.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, so here's the question for you.
Yeah.
So, you know how I always change the closing theme for the month of October.
Sure. Yes, I totally know that.
Have you not noticed that I have changed? There's 2 times when I change.
I know you changed one of the themes for like Christmas time.
Yes.
Because we got permission from Mustin to use his stuff.
Yes. And then I also change it for October.
Okay.
I change it to the Alfred Hitchcock theme, which is, I think, what, Dance of the Marionettes?
Sure.
Is that what it is? Everybody knows it as the Alfred Hitchcock theme. Oh, Funeral March of a Marionette. That's what it is.
Funeral March of a Marionette.
Yes.
Okay, so you changed the theme to Funeral March of a Marionette.
For October.
Yep.
The question is, right now we are not recording in October.
But this will likely be out in October.
Yes.
Well, when we record on like October 30th, like it goes either way. It's just you have to be consistent.
Yes. Well, I
feel like if we're releasing this in October, then yes, change it.
Okay. Yeah, I picked the Funeral March for Marionette because it was originally recorded in 1872. So, pre-public domain. Which reminds me, have they responded yet? Did I tell you that somebody flagged our opening theme?
We got like a takedown notice?
Yeah, which I'm currently contesting.
For what?
For the Liberty Bell March.
Oh, which is entirely public domain.
Yes.
And you can't take down.
Yes, everything on that is entirely public domain. So it's like really to...
Who's trying to go after us for the Liberty Bell March?
Oh, who is it? No, do I go here for... No, I don't go to the copyright option to see about copyright claims. Who did you disputed content ID claims on the videos? Yes, I disputed it because, copyright owners.
Public domain.
UMPG Publishing out of Latin America.
Huh. I wonder if they think it's like one of their recordings.
I don't know. I see Warner
the music's
Chappell.
In public domain. The performance might not be, but like you're using a public domain performance of it.
Yes, I made sure every single thing that is attached to our recording is public domain. Right. So yeah, no, they flagged it. I disputed it because I did no wrong. So of course I will dispute it, and they have not responded in the last they still have 14 days to respond, and they still have not. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise when that happened. I'm sitting there going because even like our closing theme, that's Johnny's song, and it's specifically asked him, hey, can I use this for our closing? And he said yes, and I'm like, sweet.
Go for it. Yay.
So that was the other random thing. So we'll find out in 2 weeks.
A bit of a weekend, and I've just been sitting and playing Pal World and napping. I took a nap today. By nap, I mean I took a recovery. Oh my god, I'm so tired, I can't stay awake. I was gonna just close my eyes, and then it was 3.5 hours later.
Yeah, I've done some naps like those. I have been actually playing Marvel Puzzle Quest a bit. Not Marvel Puzzle Quest. Lego Marvel Superheroes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I just said Lego Bejeweled. That's a game I haven't touched in a while. So I'll probably review that next week, because I don't think we've reviewed it in a while. I don't think we've ever reviewed this Lego game. Reviewed other ones, but I don't think we reviewed this one. So
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, we do have a list of random.
We have a list.
Yes,
you can check the list.
Yeah. But yes,
I couldn't tell you. The list could tell you.
It's very weird breaking out the 360 again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you when you're connecting the 360 to your TV? Are you using component?
VGA actually.
VGA.
Our TV from I don't even remember when
has a VGA input.
Has a VGA input.
Dang.
That's what I did back, way back when. That's how I got the Xbox 360 to run on my computer monitor. Just had a monitor with dual inputs, and
they were VGA. Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely. The VGA, though, on the 360 is, I think it's still a 480, though.
No, 1080.
1080?
Yep.
All right.
Let's just, hold on, I don't want to call myself a liar.
Yeah, I think the VGA is not actually high def. I think you need either the components or you need the HDMI.
All right, here we go. Xbox 360 technical specifications. Because, of course.
Yep. Xbox 360 VGA resolution.
Aha!
Including 1080p.
Yes. Originally, it was only HD quality output using a component cable, but via a software update, you could do VGA for an HD output.
Cool. Do you have that software update?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm going to guess you can't get that software update anymore. Like, does Xbox Live even still exist for a 360?
I signed in, and there was one person online who was on their Windows. That's all it said, was just Windows.
That might have been me.
Nope.
Because I'm signed in on my Windows machine.
Yep, when using the component HD AV cable or the Xbox 360 VGA HD AV cable, you will find the resolution settings in the system menu on the dashboard, which I have that set up for 1080p.
Good. Sure enough, the QS23, last seen 5 hours ago.
Yep.
There we go. Oh my gosh. Cool.
I do have to say, I was able to pick up each Xbox 360 games, actually for cheaper.
Like $5?
Yeah, cheaper than the Wii games for some reason.
Does not actually surprise me.
Did you just send me a message, really?
On Xbox?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess I have the gamer bar or Xbox installed on my laptop.
So it popped up?
Yes. Yes, it did.
That's fantastic.
I actually saw this on my Facebook memories. I don't remember if that was today or when, but there was at one point where I think you sent me an IM. I responded.
I remember this.
To you on the Xbox, and then you responded, I think, with an email.
Something like that.
Yes, it was something like that, where we were literally just communicating across every single platform available at the time.
Multiple different platforms. Because it's sending a message wherever you're at.
Really? That? God, I keep on forgetting that's my gamer icon. Register for what? Like that? I don't know. That seems very strange. Wow, I can see people are playing Roblox and watching Netflix. Huh. Weird. All right, I'm going to close that. Yep. All right, should we hit actual topics?
We can. We can also, I guess there's the football stuff we could skip, I suppose.
Well, let's see. Hold on, let me just see. Okay.
Michigan beat Minnesota.
By how much?
Not a lot. It was very close, and there was a questionable call, which may have changed the game.
Oof.
Very questionable call.
That's too close for comfort. Looks like Eastern won by a couple.
Wisconsin lost to the USC Trojans.
Western, if I remember correctly, Western had a problem with the refs, because at one point the refs forgot what down it was.
What? You have one job. There's a sign. It's on the chains.
Yeah, it's on the chains where it literally
it's literally on the chains.
Yeah.
Forget what down it is.
So yeah, that was slightly disappointing. It's like, what do you do at that point where you get screwed up by the refs forgetting what down it is? Just ridiculous. Well, speaking of, I can jump back a little bit. Superheroes.
Yes.
Because it turns out the term superhero and superheroes was actually trademarked.
Who owned the trademark for superhero?
There were 4 federal trademarks owned jointly between Marvel and DC.
Okay. Marvel and wait, you said was?
Was, since looks like the oldest dated back to 1967. And it turns out there is a London-based comic book artist who tried to create a comic called Super Babies. And according to him, DC accused his company of infringing on the superhero trademark and threatened legal action after Super Babies Limited applied for a trademark covering the name Super Babies. So he filed with the Patent Trade Office Trademark Trial and Appeal Board saying, hey, we think this is kind of ridiculous. We'd like you to invalidate the marks.
Okay.
Because they say that, this is, it's a whole genre.
Right. Like superhero is a thing.
Yes.
It's like having a trademark on science fiction.
Yes. So he filed that back in May. And it seems that Marvel and DC, which is actually Disney and Warner Brothers,
right,
did not file their half of the request.
Oh, no.
So they didn't file any opposition to this. And so the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board ruled in favor of Super Babies and invalidated the trademarks on superhero and superheroes.
Oh my. I wonder if this was a case of like Marvel says DC will do it and DC says Marvel will do it.
And then nobody does it.
And then no one does it.
All right, I'm reading up on the thing here. Yeah, an answer to the petition to cancel was due on July 24th, 2024. The record shows that an answer had not been filed. Case now comes up for considerations of the motion filed August 9th. That finally got taken care of. And okay, so these are the registration numbers. Registration 1179067. Curious what that, can I look that up? Okay, so that is superheroes, super space heroes. 1140452. That is not a catalytic converter for a Ford Fiesta.
What?
I'm just Googling the number. I didn't look up trademark. Oh, that's the trademark for superheroes for toys, it looks like. Okay, so there are superhero for toy, superhero for comic book, superheroes for toys, and superheroes for comic books, it looks like. So, oh, it seems that normally DC and Marvel, hence as this thing here, says they carefully monitor trademark applications. So they knew what was going on. They saw the application.
They just didn't do anything about it? Like, it just seems weird for them to have something that is so potentially valuable and then just let it go.
Yes. That's crazy. So that's, we'll see. It seems like this has already happened in the past, according to this article I'm reading from a law firm. Back in 2012, there was an issue where they forgot to, they failed to complete a filing before a deadline had passed. In another time.
Yeah, so, but, like, it sounds like they can appeal this.
Yes, so we'll see how that goes. But for right now, trademarks are invalid.
Okay.
One of these trademarks supposedly is for superhero, as in soup.
Like, as in a dish served in a bowl?
No. That was the guy who was filing against Marvel. Okay, so somebody was trying to make a comic called Superhero, and Marvel tried to stop them. Superhero, that's funny.
Like with soup?
Yes. Okay, so yeah, registration canceled under Section 18. For further information, see the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board webpage, but you don't actually give me the link to that webpage, really.
Of course not.
I'm too much. Okay, moving on. Another law that just showed up, signed into law in California, AB 2426, states that the law will make it illegal to advertise or offer for sale a digital good to a purchaser with the terms buy, purchase, or any other term which a reasonable person will understand to confer unrestricted ownership instead of a licensing.
So no more software as a service with buy.
Yes. It must be clearly stated, even separate from the normal terms and conditions, that this is you are buying or purchasing the digital good as a license and not actually as a purchase. Unless you are actually purchasing a permanent download, then they don't have to do that. But then, you're actually buying something.
That's pretty cool.
So we'll be seeing how that works. Took 8 years from when the guy first said this was a problem, when the Department of Commerce Internet Policy Task Force published a white paper concluding that consumers would benefit from more information on the nature of the transactions. And they finally get it this year, 8 years later. But that's... It's a thing, though, right? I'm trying to think of how much of... Oh, okay, I'm just thinking of all the stuff here on Steam.
That you don't actually own?
Yeah, unless... Can I play any of these without Steam running?
Some of them, yes. But if Steam were to, like, close tomorrow, you'd lose access to everything.
That's true, unless I actually download them, and that's a lot to download.
Yeah, I don't have the space to download everything I've purchased.
I probably do not either. I probably have games on my Steam here list that I probably actually can't play on this laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So, not sure.
Both because they require too much or because they require too little?
This laptop is probably not powerful enough and, not enough space.
Yeah.
So, we shall see. But if you have noticed, opening up Steam, that there is
like a pop-up thing saying, hey, we've changed our terms of service.
Yes. Originally, which we probably talked about, years ago, was that Steam originally wanted all disputes and claims between you and Valve to be done through individual binding arbitration.
Yeah, forced arbitration.
Yes. Well, it turns out that people and some law firms figured out that if you basically, let's see, what did this say? 75,000 arbitrations at one law firm.
Jesus Christ. For what? Presented a plan to recruit 75,000 clients to threaten Valve with arbitration on behalf of those clients.
So, they wanted, 75,000 potential arbitrations, 3,000 in fees per arbitration. And their plan was to offer Valve a settlement slightly less than the arbitration charge at $2,900 per claim.
Okay. So someone found a loophole in the system.
Yes.
And Valve has now changed their terms of service to say, nope. No more arbitration. You want to sue us? Sue us.
Yes.
Which reopens them to class action lawsuits?
Let's see. We've also removed the class action waiver and cost and fee shifting provisions because the fee shifting provisions stated that the arbitration clause in the Steam subscriber agreement is favorable to Steam users in that Valve agrees to pay the fees and costs associated with the arbitration. So that was the thing is, okay, arbitration, sure, Valve was going to pay the $3,000. Somebody said, hey, I can get a bunch of people and see if Valve will, settle for $2,900
per person.
And last year, Valve sued them basically to say, hey, this is extortion.
Yeah, kinda, sort of. Like Valve's it is, but also within Valve's terms of service, which was, blatantly pro-Valve and anti-consumer.
Yes, there was, I'm not sure if it was this one or if there was another lawsuit where the judge basically was saying, wait a second, you can't have it both ways. You're doing these things with arbitration, okay, you're going to have to deal with it. It's not your fault.
You have to do arbitration.
Yes. If you want to do arbitration, you have to do arbitration. Doesn't matter that somebody's found your loopholes and basically DDoSed your...
your legal department?
Your legal department, yeah.
DDoS nothing. Like, the whole thing of, like, each one is going to cost money and you can't lump them together, that is pretty nasty.
Yep.
We should start doing this to all companies that have a forced arbitration clause.
Well, you have to make sure that because sometimes the arbitration cost would be split. Mm-hmm. This one said that Valve was going to cover all of the...
Oh, I mean, so that's a nice thing that Valve did.
Yes.
And they suffered for it.
But forced arbitration, really, is that a nice thing?
Well, but one of the things with forced arbitration is the idea that it's, like, expensive. So Valve saying that they would cover the costs, that changes things a little bit for me. Like, it's still better for people to be able to do a class action lawsuit. But at the very least, Valve was covering the fees.
Yeah, to make sure arbitration is available to all Steam users, regardless of their financial situation, Valve promised to pay the arbitration filing fees and costs for non-frivolous, non-harassing claims seeking up to $10,000. Valve promised to not seek repayment of its attorney's fees unless a particular Steam user brings a claim that is frivolous or for the purpose of harassment.
I mean, these feel kind of frivolous / the purpose of harassment.
Yes. In the 5 years before this law firm began threatening Valve, there were only 2 instances where Valve and a Steam user could not resolve that user's issue before proceeding to arbitration.
I would love to know, and I doubt we'll find out, who won those arbitrations.
Both of those arbitrations were resolved in Valve's favor.
Okay.
And Valve paid all of the arbiter fees and costs for both Valve and the impacted Steam user. So yes, this is... this was the Steam Claims website. Okay. I kept on seeing ads about this. Yep. Antitrust claim registration is now closed. We are not currently accepting any new clients. Well, yeah.
Yeah. No shit.
Yep.
There's another legal topic that I didn't add to the topic list because I can't is a strong word. Really shouldn't talk about it.
Well, then I know what you're talking about, and we'll just.
I mean, we can say it exists.
Yeah, but that's cutting too close to home.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Google, Epic, and lawsuit.
Yep.
And that's as far as we'll go.
So, do we want to talk about AI? Do we want to talk about video games? Or do we want to talk about space? Space! All right. So, Crew 9 just launched with, 2 less people on it. So that's a plus that's getting up to the ISS.
And this is the next group that's supposed to be on the ISS.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be a 2-person mission, and now it's 2 people going, or no, it was supposed to be a 4-person mission, but they left 2 people behind.
Yes.
Because they're like, we're just going to use the 2 people who are already up there.
Yep. So that got up successfully. Well, it launched successfully. I don't think it's actually attached to the ISS yet, because it takes about...
launch, which is, the hard part.
Yes. So that's good. It seems that Russia, well, actually, I'll continue with some SpaceX news. SpaceX, for some reason, went out to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yep. Oh, they fished out their thing.
Yes. They went out to the Gulf of Mexico with a deep sea platform of some kind and actually fished out a major chunk of Starship 4.
Like almost the entire engine frame.
Yes. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 engines attached to that.
39?
Yes. So they didn't tell anybody they were going to do this. This was kind of a surprise until some people noticed that there was a deep platform, sea rescue type, oil platform
Salvage
type thing. Yeah. Out at the same area that the Super Heavy was supposed to have landed in the Gulf of Mexico. People were like, what is that doing out there? And then all of a sudden Elon
posts pictures.
Post a picture of the engines from the Super Heavy booster getting pulled out of the ocean. Which that will be interesting to see, get some data from that. Granted, it's been in the bottom of the ocean for a bit.
So it's not, SpaceX is quite well known for reusing their stuff. I don't think they're going to reuse this.
No. Nope. So yeah, that was a surprise. And then Russia had been talking about and kind of saber rattling about their ICBMs. Mm-hmm. They're kind of using them as a threat against Europe.
They're like hypersonic, whatever ICBMs.
Yes. These were the same ones that they had talked about using if, Europe let Ukraine use long-range missiles.
Which we did.
Yeah.
And Russia is just like, stop it.
Well, they said that, hey, we're going to use these, and then the military had planned to do a test launch. Well, imagery
How did
captured.
That go?
Well, the imagery from last week's launch, before the last week's launch attempt, showed a nice launch facility. And then after the launch attempt, showed a giant crater in the ground.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, they proved that they can make a big explosion.
Yep.
Wow. Oh my god, I hope everyone who was in that building is okay.
That crater is roughly 200 feet wide, and extensive damage in and around the launch pad can be seen, which suggests the missile exploded shortly after ignition or launch.
I'm looking at, like, the trees and the lack of trees.
Yes.
And, like, here, now I've got them side by side instead of clicking back and forth between them. Like, oh, boy. That's a big old boom. Like, the concrete pad is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Concrete is not easy to get rid of.
No. Which is interesting because the fact that Russia didn't really, they had issued warnings for pilots to stay out of the airspace along the flight paths, so people knew that there was going to be a missile test.
Mm-hmm.
But then the warnings were just randomly canceled 2 days before the satellite flew over. And the funny thing is the fact that this is not any sort of military satellite. This is a commercial satellite.
Jesus. It's crazy that the commercial satellites have this sort of resolution.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Did you hear that China is making the claim, and I fully believe it, that they can use Starlink to detect B-2 stealth bombers?
How?
Because you have a direct line of sight to the satellites, right?
Yeah.
So you put a receiver down, and it can see a lot of satellites, unless there's something in the way.
Well, yeah.
Well, a B-2 stealth bomber, or probably an F-22 Raptor, they're not small.
No, they're not small, and they're a lot closer to the ground than the satellites are, but what's the size of a beam width on the Starlink?
How many Starlinks are there? I put 3 receivers on the ground. I'm communicating with a couple dozen satellites at any given time.
No, I don't care about bandwidth for... Okay, the satellite coverage is only 15 miles. I can't... How big is your actual... No, you're going at this backwards. I want the how wide. See, this is a problem when you actually talk about bandwidth, because there's different ways you could talk about bandwidth.
You are talking about the literal width of the beam.
Yes.
But my point is, Andy, even if it's a small beam, like, there are so many satellites that if I've got, say, 3 receivers, you're going to find them.
Possibly. In theory, yes. In theory, that
and it's
does.
Moving. So,
Yes.
like, it's not finding a thing that's sitting in the sky. It's that it's going to be moving across them and breaking the beams.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. Like, how big are these beams?
Well, the thing from Starlink is they're not beams.
No, it's a receive dish. So yeah. So what's the field of view? Maybe if I do that. 100. Oh, Starlink Gen 3 has 110 degree field of view. So that is how much 110 degree cone. Okay, so how much would that... Well, it depends on how high the B-2 is flying. I'm just saying, yes, in theory, it would be possible. The practicalness of it,
I think is less difficult than you'd think.
I don't know. I feel like somebody should do the math on it, and that person is not going to be me.
I feel like those people were the Chinese military scientists.
Probably.
Who probably looked at it and said, yeah, I think we could do that.
Oh, they did testing with a drone.
I mean, a drone is going to be significantly smaller, and this has nothing to do with radar reflectivity.
No. Research details how the academic people were able to recognize the rough location of a commercial drone by observing disturbances in electromagnetic signals from Starlink satellites caused by so there's your aircraft passing between them. This isn't exactly new technology. Passive radar systems have been in use since World War II with the German Clyde Heidelberg system.
So, we should probably move on to a different topic.
Oh, this is a good thing there. It's similar to knowing that there's a mosquito in the bedroom at night and actually being able to swat it.
Yeah, but when you're really... Like, when your mission depends on not being known that you're even there, like, it's still not great.
Yep.
Does it mean they can lock onto it with a missile? No. Does it mean that they, like, can start prepping and know that something's coming? Yes.
Yeah.
Does that kind of ruin part of the point of a stealth mission? Yes.
Yeah, well, we'll see if anybody else is able to expand on that. All right, should we do video game news?
Yes.
Surprisingly, Pokemon Sleep has made over $120 million.
Why? How?
I don't know. 120 in gross revenue in 14 months. And now it seems you can actually have the app work with your Apple Watch, Galaxy Watch, Fitbit, and Google Pixel Watch. So,
Jesus Christ.
what does this get you?
I don't know. I mean, now that it is compatible with the Pixel Watch, maybe I'll try it. I could. But, like, why?
I don't know. I don't know what Pokemon Sleep gets you, but somehow it has made 120. Okay, so just to be clear, 74% of that came from Japan.
I mean, that makes sense. It's you think Pokemon's big here, it's really big in Japan.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like, but it's one of those things. I was like, I don't know. I saw that. I'm like, really? It made 120 million. Well, that is revenue, right? Or no, that would be profit. It has earned 120 million. Either way, that's just still seems.
I mean, there's no way that it's costing them 120 million.
No. So there is a profit being made.
Yep.
On Pokemon Sleep. And I just don't know. But Can I just search why Pokemon Sleep?
Why Pokemon Sleep earn money? Doesn't say how. Just says it's earning a lot of money. Reddit to the rescue. There's a store and membership options. I don't know what that gets you. There's gems. What is in this game? These games are the reason most AAA games are now garbage microtransaction littered hells. People willing to pay hundreds of dollars on microtransactions just to maybe get an imaginary thing they want. Sounds like there's loot boxes.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Well, speaking of AAA games, Ubisoft had their stock shareholder discussion, and in it, they talked about how they had some problems with their previous release of Star Wars Outlaws, and that they were learning from the release of Star Wars Outlaws and decided that they need to have additional time to further polish Assassin's Creed Shadows. So it was supposed to be out in November. It is now getting pushed back until February.
Sorry, that clap was not an applause. It was trying to get a fly.
So it will also be released on Steam day one. Pre-orders will be refunded, and Ubisoft is getting rid of the season pass model, with all pre-orders granted the first expansion for free.
I wonder what they think they are learning from Star Wars Outlaws.
I don't know.
Like, don't release a broken game?
Possibly? Is that why they're is that what they're not getting good results out of Star Wars Outlaws, so they're just pushing back? Ubisoft acknowledged publicly that Star Wars Outlaws did not meet expectations in terms of either sales or critical reception. So, yeah. So this also means that Assassin's Creed Shadows will launch just a few months before the planned release of Grand Theft Auto 6. And I feel like whatever happens with Assassin's Creed, it's just going to get steamrolled by GTA 6.
No one is going to be wanting to release when GTA 6 comes out.
So, yeah, this is, we'll see how this goes. Fun fact, it was actually the Assassin's Creed disc that was in the Xbox 360 when I turned it back on after umpteen years. So
I tried to play Assassin's Creed 2 and stream it, and the graphics are hideous.
Yes, they are.
Bad.
Well, it was hilarious because we were playing Star Wars Lego on the Wii. So we're talking 480. And we're playing it, and it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And then I switch over to the Xbox, 1080p widescreen, high def, going from that one to the other. You're like, whoa. And they're both Lego games, so they both are supposed to look similar, right?
Right.
You wouldn't expect too much of a difference between the two different Lego games. But still, it just, oh my goodness. I'm sitting there going like, this is what I used to deal with?
Playing Mario with my 6-year-old goddaughter, like the original Mario. And oh my God, she struggled so much with it.
Yes.
Oh God, she was so unhappy with it.
Well, yeah, because those early games still had the arcade mindset. I feel like those old games still had that, oh, you're going to pay for this if you want to get good. We're going to make this difficult for you, so you're going to have to keep feeding those quarters.
Well, so yes and no. Yes, that existed. Yes, that did impact a lot of the home games. But also there was the idea that, like, Andy, what's the world record on Super Mario right now?
Oh, something ridiculous.
It's like 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yes.
How much did Super Mario Brothers cost when it came out?
Oh, 60, 50,
right?
Somewhere in that. Yeah.
There just wasn't a lot of game.
Mm-hmm.
So to make it so that you could get your value and the time spent on it, they made them hard.
Yes. Yes, they did. Now they just make them long, which I'll talk about that when I review Lego Marvel next time. So, all right. Anything else on this list here? Oh, let's okay. Tapped Out is actually closing. The Simpsons mobile game. I forgot that was even still around.
I don't know that I even remember it.
I tried playing it at the beginning. Like, I picked it up. I think Jamie was playing it, or somebody else was playing it at the time for a bit. And so I picked it up and tried it out, but it was another one of those idle city builder games, and it just wasn't really my jam. But I guess playing 12 years for a mobile game, not bad.
Yeah. 12 years ago would have been 2012.
Yes. So we're talking, that's when Candy Crush and like Temple Run came out.
I mean, those are both still going.
Yes.
So kind of mixed. What's the cause of closing this one?
Well, in case you're wondering, The Simpsons are now owned by Disney.
Correct.
So Disney.
I mean, I'm not wondering that. That's a well-known thing because Disney bought Fox.
Yep. So yeah, the game was a partnership between EA and I guess Walt Disney, which both of them are not doing great right now. And this seems to be a pretty niche game. So I'm guessing it just people wanted to cut some costs is what my guess is.
And it's just not making money anymore? Like,
I don't know. Just is that part of the let's see if I can see if somebody's got a report on that. See, in 2014, EA reported that the game had made 130 in net revenue, but that was 2014. Let's see, that's 2014. No, there's not really any new news on it. So
it just seems weird. Maybe I'm guessing someone was asking for more money.
Well, hasn't Disney been closing down mobile games? Did we talk about that recently or no? There was another mobile game that was dropping out soon.
Do you think I remember?
Oh, Mirrorverse. We were going to talk about this last week, but we didn't. Disney's RPG mobile game was launched 2.5 years ago and is also getting shut down. So I was like, I swear there was another one recently. Yeah, there's another Disney mobile app last week that said they were getting shut down by the end of the year. So I'm wondering if Disney is cutting a lot of the mobile games that they're not really feeling are up to snuff anymore. I don't know.
Or they're planning something big, like
Could be
a new suite or a new release. That's another option.
Let's see if there's anything through the news for Disney mobile apps. 1 month ago, Disney announces purge of most of its CTV and mobile apps. Now, this is just all stuff about canceling your Disney Plus. Nope, nothing there. All right, anything else before we hit the randoms?
OpenAI is looking to not be a nonprofit anymore.
Not surprised with Altman.
Someone opened my eyes to our future, and I hate it. And you're going to hate it as soon as I tell it to you.
Okay.
Right now, the various chatbots like ChatGPT are subsidized, right? They are free.
Yes.
You can just go to it and use it. You can pay for premium and get more, but not much more. And certainly not like enough people are doing that to where it is profitable.
Yeah. Well, especially since one of the other topics we were talking about, how OpenAI says that they want to build multiple 5 gigawatt AI data centers.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do they make money, Andy?
It's all about the data.
No.
No, it's not about the data?
Sponsorship.
Oh.
How much does Pepsi pay to promote their stuff over Coke?
Ew. I don't like that.
Sponsorship. This chat brought to you by...
Well, where was I at? I was at the gas station. And, of course, the gas stations now have TVs. So I'm stuck watching this TV, especially if I'm at the work truck, which has a 30-gallon tank.
Oh my God, that's got to take 5 minutes to pump.
Yes. Yes, it does. So I'm stuck there watching that TV.
Yep.
And there was one of them where they were talking about travel destination suggestions or something like that. And at the end, they're like, hey, scan this and get our Chat GPT powered travel recommendations for you. And I'm just like, whoa.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
They're going to be double dipping because they're going to charge companies to provide chat services and they're going to be like putting ads in.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds like a dark future.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. It makes sense and I don't like it. Well, heck, HP is putting AI in their printer drivers.
In their print drivers?
Well, basically, they're calling the new HP Print AI experience. Comes with something called Perfect Output Feature.
No.
So you will, if you give it a website, like their suggestion here is a recipe website.
Yeah.
And the recipe website just looks like crap originally. And then you run it through the HP Print AI and it realizes, okay, let's put all of the ingredients and the recipe together. And then we'll throw a couple of pictures on the side.
And make sure the pictures don't break the...
Yeah, they're not page break. Yep.
So we resize the... I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Part of me has had to deal at the old job. I had to deal with people who were not very good with technology. These are people who had been working in the radio industry for decades. So I would have to deal with them trying to format their page layouts and everything else like that. So for somebody who is not very technically literate, this could possibly be good. But they also said that HP says that you can use conversational prompts with Print AI to turn photos into greeting cards by adding custom styles and fonts. You can also do some slight photo editing by upscaling images and removing unwanted objects.
I'm not thrilled by that. I'm of two minds. One is that's actually really clever. Like, good job, HP. Very, very clever. But like, that's just make a better web page and stop overcharging for printer ink.
Well, part of me is the fact that, most of the time when I print something, quote unquote, I'm just printing to PDF and then I just take that PDF and send it wherever it needs to go. But still, yeah, no, this is going to be interesting if this rolls out to all printers.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it might be, rolled out to, right now it's just an exclusive beta and they haven't said where it's going to be released to. But this is all just drivers. The printer is just a dumb box. The driver and the software is where the actual, brains are.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call this the drivers. This is just like, it's software.
Yep.
Like a printer driver says, great, here, like, tell the printer how to print this. This is like an editor.
Yes. No, that makes sense. Yeah, almost like a Adobe Acrobat sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Now we should hit the randoms.
We should hit the randoms. Yeah.
Yes.
It is your review.
Yes. So as most people know, we are now on YouTube.
Yep.
And so YouTube doesn't really work well with just audio.
Correct. So there needs to be a video file attached to it.
Yes, there are other ways of doing it with RSS feeds and that sort of thing, but we don't have that set up. So this is an audio podcast, but I need to make it a video podcast. And before, what I normally would have done is just open up Windows Movie Maker and dealt with that. Turns out Windows Movie Maker hasn't been around for a while. Let me see. When did it finally disappear? Windows Movie Maker first included in 2001. Movie Maker was officially discontinued on January 10th, 2017. So, that was my go-to for easy video editing.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, what else is there? So I started going through some of the open source video editors out there, and that's when I stumbled upon OpenShot. OpenShot, entirely free, entirely open source, and it's actually pretty, I'm just using 2 tracks, doing some simple stuff here, but there's a lot more in there that I can deal with that I haven't really gone through, but still actively maintained, and more updates going on there.
Cool.
There's a decent subreddit for, I wouldn't call it, they call it a forums. It's a subreddit that there's pretty active talk about for help. And there's a lot here in this thing that I haven't touched at, but it can do some pretty decent stuff. So if you're looking for a simple video editor, this, and you're trying to find a replacement for Windows Movie Maker, this is free and open source.
Open source. Which means there's probably also like a bunch of plugins.
Yes.
Animation, keyframes. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing I just learned about was the fact that it can actually take the audio waveforms and even output the waveforms as part of the video.
Nice.
Which I was originally looking at for this, and I think this can do it. I just haven't looked at it, but there are tutorial videos for everything.
Very nice. Woo!
So yeah, it's a good piece of software, and it's free. So Windows, Mac, and Linux, and Chrome OS as well. So wherever you need this to be, you can probably get it there.
It is there.
Yes.
That's really cool. You can even download it via torrent.
Oh, I didn't even know that one. I just downloaded it basically the normal way.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So yes, if you're looking for a cheap video editor that's actually got some oomph behind it, check this out. It's got way more than what I need it for, but it was free and it works out quite well. So yes, OpenShot. So now the random topic. Rolled ahead of time.
Not an AI generated one.
No, we have not. We have not touched those. The list is still pristine.
Okay.
Has not been knowingly. Because some of these Hans ones, I don't know.
It's like maybe they did come from AI.
Is that maybe that topic was Hans actually like telling us that it was, hey.
My friend Aaron Hansowitz is many things. A AI aficionado is not one of them.
No, but this random topic, what food makes your list of quintessential Michigan dishes?
Michigan dishes?
Michigan dishes.
I mean, Detroit-style pizza.
Detroit-style pizza, Coney dogs.
Is Coney dogs a Michigan thing?
Yes, Coney dogs is a Michigan thing.
Andy, are you sure about that?
Yes, I do believe Coney Island hot dogs are a Michigan thing.
Andy, where is Coney Island?
In New York.
So please explain to me why a Coney Island hot dog is a Michigan thing.
What, are you talking like Lafayette and American Coney Island?
I don't know. Like, how is it a Michigan thing? Apparently it's because it is related to Greece immigration.
Oh yeah, and there's a big Greek. There's Greek town.
There's a huge Greek population in Michigan. I mean, I guess, yeah, so like some Greek food, Middle Eastern food.
Yes.
Also,
there's, at some point, I feel like I have to go to Dearborn.
Down towards Dearborn.
Yes.
I feel like some of the best Mediterranean food in the world.
I was going to say, at some point,
outside of the Mediterranean.
I have to go to Dearborn and get some shawarma. I just feel like I have to at some point. Okay, so yeah, so the Coney dogs, you got Mediterranean food in Dearborn. Detroit style pizza, olive burgers. Oh, I haven't had a good olive burger. Should see if anybody around here has gotten a good olive burger.
The hell is an olive burger?
Well, it's kind of what it sounds like. It's green olives on a burger with we'll say like an aioli sauce on it.
Verner's.
Yep, Verner's
and Faygo.
Verner's, Faygo.
The thing is, like, there isn't really a Michigan meal. There's Michigan products.
Well, no, whitefish is pretty big in Michigan. Whitefish.
Sure.
Do I really want to talk about pasties?
But that's just like Polish food. Like, there's just Polish food, but that's not Michigan. That's in Wisconsin, too.
Yeah,
we have punchkis out here, not nearly as many.
Pasty. That's more of like a UP Northern Michigan thing. Hence, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Yeah. Pasties, whitefish, Superman ice cream, Blue Moon ice cream, Mackinac fudge.
Are all Midwestern, not Michigan.
Yeah, but I do believe Blue Moon was a Michigan start, right?
Maybe, but it's common here. Well, it's not uncommon here.
Okay, multiple cities in the region claim to be the originator. Plainwell, Milwaukee, and Ludington. Well, I'm guessing I know which one Ludington is.
House of Flavors.
And at some point, I really need to go to Plainwell's ice cream as well. The Plainwell post office where I worked for about a year was right next to Plainwell ice cream, and I just never went. A lot of these are very Midwestern.
Right.
I really think Olive Burgers, though, I do believe that was really just a Michigan thing.
That might be a Michigan thing. Mostly because I've never heard of that. I feel like having lived out here for 10 years, I'd have heard of it somewhere. Mm-hmm. Granted, I lived in Michigan for 25 years and had never heard of it, but...
There's an Olive Burger Festival in Lansing? What? Is that October 5th in Lansing? Olive Burger Festival.
Well, I know what you're doing next weekend.
Probably not going up to Lansing.
A friend of mine hates olives, so I'm letting her know.
Oh, our partners. Stax 92.1. I know that radio station. I know Stax. So that's if you want to find only thing that's really just Michigan.
Is there a dessert that's a very? Punchkis are
bumpy
very
cake.
Bumpy cake, maybe.
I feel like that's just Sanders, right? Has anybody else done? Kate just called it an insane cake.
Okay.
I love how I just search for these things, and normally, people also ask Google, a lot of these have had is X a Michigan thing as part of the thing that people also ask.
Hang on. Let's try this. We'll go the AI route. Come up with a list of food for a multi-course meal themed after Michigan. Use foods common to and representative of the state of Michigan. Okay, appetizer, cherry and goat cheese salad.
Oh, yeah.
There is a Michigan salad that you can get at a lot of restaurants. It's goat cheese, cherries, sometimes blueberries.
Yep, that would be pretty good.
Some sort of vinaigrette, sometimes blue cheese, but ugh.
Yeah.
A Michigan wild rice and mushroom soup, grilled Lake Michigan whitefish.
Yep, there's the whitefish.
A Michigan artisan cheese platter. That's not. Michigan apple crisp.
Oh, yeah.
Michigan craft beer and hard cider.
Wasn't there something about Michigan potatoes or no?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, Michigan ranks 8th in the nation for potato production. So we're not the, top, but we're still up there. There was celery and asparagus. Cherries, celery, asparagus. What are Michigan top produce? Michigan is the #1 producer of tart cherries, cucumbers, dried beans, squash, and asparagus, and ranks in the top 10 for production of many other valuable agricultural commodities. So really, cherries, cucumbers, dried beans, squash, and asparagus.
Yeah, that all checks.
Michigan ranks 6th for wine production.
What about foods that are not made in Michigan? Not strictly made in Michigan, but are imbued in Michigan's culture. Detroit-style pizza bites, chili with Michigan sweet corn, pasties, coleslaw, UP cheddar, bumpy cake, there you go, and better-made potato chips and Faygo.
Yep.
I think that's going to be it.
Yep.
We gave you some. We gave you some. You could throw a Michigan-themed party.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Sourcing it might be not easy if you're not in Michigan. Like, I have to custom order Faygo.
Well, just, next time you're over here, just, load up the back
Grab
of
a
your car.
couple. Yeah.
Heck,
Just
I
grab
do
some...
I do that with Kroger, just because there's no Krogers over here.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Because Kroger had that Twisted Apple Mountain Dew that was really good.
Yep, it was pretty good.
So, yep.
All right.
Well, that's a wrap. This has been another episode of the Random Access Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, corrections, suggestions, remarks, reviews, rebukes, retorts, or just rants, feel free to contact us. You can find us on Twitter at RAPodcast, or send us an email at mail@rapodcast.net. Thank you for listening.